All right, so roll action. If you can tell us your name, where you're coming from, and what Repatriate to Ghana has done for you thus far.
Okay, then. My name is Evis Williamson. I'm from Tennessee, the state of Tennessee in the United States. I'm part of the repatriation process coming to Ghana. I'm a member of the diaspora. I came to Ghana with very little knowledge of what is happening in Ghana. First of all, when I first came to Ghana, I landed in Ghana. And I encountered a situation whereby the cost of living was high because of where I was staying. And I was trying to get in contact with a gentleman by the name of Ɔbenfo. I'm under the impression that Ɔbenfo itself is an honorable name, like Professor. And so I always want to try to honor Ɔbenfo because he's done a lot for me. When I landed in Accra in Ghana, I landed in a place whereby the cost of living was high. And I think that circumstances brought me to that point. But anyway, I endured that situation for about 3 weeks, and I was somewhat tired of it, and it was creating a burden for me. But eventually I got in contact with Ɔbenfo, and that was a blessing in itself because he helped me in terms of housing. I didn't have to pay a great deal of money as far as housing is concerned. One of the problems here in Ghana is that they ask for a year's amount of rent. Sometimes they'll ask for 2 or 3 years amount of rent all at once. And I think that most Black Americans would have trouble getting that up. And so Ɔbenfo found me a place whereby I only had to get up a year's rent. And that was a blessing in itself because my situation was of such that it had put a strain on my finances. So when I got the opportunity to come up with just a year's amount of rent, that was great. That was great, and ever since then I've been doing fairly well. The cost of living has been substantially reduced, and the pressure has been a great relief to me. I'm glad I met Ɔbenfo because he, though he's been on many shows, podcasts, or whatever we want to call it, and he's talked to a lot of different people that have, I would say, big names, but it seems like to me that he doesn't allow that to get in the way of his relationship with me and probably some other people. I don't think I'm an exception, What I'm saying is I'm comfortable in talking to Ɔbenfo, and that means a lot, when you're talking to people and they act all high and mighty, Sometimes you get to a point you don't know what to say next, but with Ɔbenfo, I can be myself and I can be casual and I'm comfortable. And it seems like to me that he's given me the confidence that I need in order to go forward with the plans that I have, and that's very, very important. Repatriation to Ghana has given me some hope and some inspiration and some courage, really, and I think it's something that most Black Americans need. My experience in Black America is that a lot of Black Americans don't have a lot of confidence in themselves, and that might be because of the environment. It might be because the environment does not inspire a lot of confidence in oneself. And I think one really needs to have confidence in oneself in order to do something positive in life. That's the way I feel about it. I don't want to talk too long because I got the impression maybe the interview was not necessarily to be lengthy, But what I want to do is I want to explain or show my appreciation to Ɔbenfo for the things that he has done for me, and for giving me a positive outlook on life and encouraging me to go forward with the plans that I've had. You know, I don't know whether I feel enough or not, but okay.
Just two last things. So we introduced you to some other repatriates that was at the AAAG meeting, and then also took care of just your health records. I think people who are more advanced in age are definitely considering, you know, health. So we were able to go down, meet the doctor, you know, discuss those things. If you could just basically speak about how those two things, the network and the healthcare, there are other things we're dealing with as well. Citizenship hasn't happened yet, but that will happen. But if you could just maybe speak to those two, because I feel like a lot of people who are coming, they're concerned about, well, who am I going to meet? You know, who am I going to socialize? Who's going to understand my background, where I'm coming from? That we were able to introduce you to some people there. And then also people, you know, who are more advanced in age, even those who aren't, they're concerned about, well, what am I going to do for healthcare? Where should I go? Which hospital? You know, which ones are reputable? If you could speak to maybe those 2 points, and then we can close out on that.
Okay. The first thing I want to speak to is talking with other expatriates and diaspora. When I first came to Ghana, I found that to be a problem, because many of the Ghanaians that I came in contact with didn't seem to know much about diasporans or the repatriation process, you know. And I was confronted with a lot of stumbling blocks there, because before I met Ɔbenfo, I don't believe that I spoke to about one Black American. And it seemed like to me that the Black American that I spoke to had a Ghanaian right beside her. And it seemed like to me that the Ghanaian knew more about what I was asking than the Black American did. It may be that the Black American had some kind of contact or relationship with the Ghanaian, and the Black American decided to, well, you know, let the Ghanaian do the talking, you know, that sort of thing, you know. But anyway, that was the limited experience that I had with Black Americans before I met Ɔbenfo. But after I met Ɔbenfo, there was a place called Du Bois Center. And I had heard about it in the United States before, but I had not actually been to it. And that was very enlightening, because when I went there to Du Bois Center, you know, I met Black Americans who had already repatriated to Ghana, who had already gotten citizenship here in Ghana, and who knew a considerable amount about Ghana. You know, and that was comforting to me, to be able to sit down with Black Americans and discuss a variety of issues, you know, answer some of the questions that I had wondered about. You know, it was relaxing. About the healthcare thing, I think that Ɔbenfo was very helpful in that regard, in that he took me to a major hospital here in Ghana. And what he done was that he saw to it that I met the doctor that I would probably be concerned with if I got sick, you know. And Ɔbenfo has given me the impression that, you know, if I get sick or if anything seriously happens to me, that he'll be by my side. And that's comforting, because, you know, here in Ghana, you know, if you have somebody that's concerned about you and by your side, and you feel that you can rely on, that makes a big difference.
All right, so we'll keep it short, as you said, but definitely appreciate you sharing your experiences so far. Repatriate to Ghana, we're here to assist. We have, you know, young families, we have elders, we have everybody in between who's coming here. The last citizenship, we had both the oldest person to get citizenship, that was Baba Morgan Moss at 81 at that time, and we had the youngest one to get citizenship, that was Brother Mikhail, the beekeeper, at 18 at that time. So, you know, everywhere in between, we can definitely assist you. So I appreciate you trusting and believing in the service that we provide. And we've gone from you being concerned about your finances, paying X amount of dollars a day, to now you're able to be relaxed, you're able to be comfortable, and you can see a way forward towards successful repatriation. So I thank you for, again, choosing Repatriate to Ghana.
Okay, thank you.
Nice.